Hello, everybody. You're listening to Alfred's American News Updates. Alfred's American News Updates is brought to you by Alfred and Friends. Alfred and Friends is a global conglomerate that owns and invests in a large variety of companies all around the world. For more information on how you can invest in Alfred and Friends, go to alfredandfriends.com. The updates I would like to give you right now is on the YouTube CEO, the CEO of YouTube, who is the current CEO only because of her gender. You see, because she's a woman, she was appointed the CEO. Now, she was pressured by a lesbian interviewer at a tech conference to ban Ben Shapiro. You see, Ben Shapiro is a conservative, and just because Ben Shapiro has views that are different from hers, she wants Ben Shapiro to be banned. This is ridiculous, and this shows an abuse of power and position. This is an interviewer that is respected in the tech industry, and naturally she's a lesbian. And when I say naturally, I don't mean that she is naturally a lesbian as in she was born that way. There's no such nonsense. Nobody is born with a lesbian gene or gay gene. There's no such thing. But what I say by naturally she's a lesbian is that of course she's a lesbian, because it is people like this who are put intentionally into positions of power. People are being put into positions and placed into certain jobs because of their political beliefs, because of their association, or I would say allegiance, or they are being a part of the LGBT community, or simply because they are women. You see, and it has nothing to do with their qualifications, whether they are skilled or whether they are qualified. So that is a madness that is going on, and it is intentional. You see, all these things are planned. Nothing just happened. Somebody sat down and planned all this. You see, and it shows you the difference between power and money, and why money is far more powerful than why power is far more powerful than money. And also, there are people who are in so-called positions of power but are not in positions of power because their position can be taken away from them by somebody else. If you are in a so-called position of power and your position can be taken away from somebody else, that person who can take it away is the person who actually has power. So that is something that you have to understand. Any case, we are talking about this great miscarriage of injustice. This is the same lesbian woman who pushed for the banning of Alex Jones, and eventually Alex Jones was banned, even though whatever reasons were given them as to why they couldn't ban Alex Jones. But you see, things like this that are being echoed in public and are done, it shows a massive censorship. You know, they didn't cite any reason. It's just because she disagrees with Ben Shapiro. So when you now are in a position where you censor people's views and censor people's opinions and people's beliefs just because you are afraid of their opinions, because their opinions you do not agree with. And you see, the interesting is that Ben Shapiro has even never said anything against gays or lesbian. He is rational, however, and believes that there are only two genders, and he is rational when it comes to transgenders. He believes that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You see, and all that nonsense about a man can say that he's a woman and therefore because he said that he's a woman, he's a woman. He doesn't believe in all that nonsense. And you see, this lesbian woman, she adopted a boy. Her and her quote-unquote wife adopted a boy. Now, I won't even go into the child abuse of that kind of scenario, but because over dinner, over lunch or breakfast, whatever, the boy said some things about Ben Shapiro, and the boy actually likes Ben Shapiro, and she, because of that, and because of her so-called position of power, she wants Ben Shapiro banned because she does not want Ben Shapiro's opinions influencing this boy that she has adopted to live with her quote-unquote wife. You see, so this is something that is sad, and it shows the blatant abuse of power and how certain people think. It's like, because I don't like this person's opinion and this person I adopted, that I'm deceiving myself and calling a son, because it's the reality of the matter is that a family cannot be built up of two lesbians and a child. That is madness. That is not a family. There is no such thing as two lesbians and a child making a family. So when you look at all these factors and the power that YouTube has, the power that Google has, the power that Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, has, we see that these things are going to be abused because, there used to be a time that a businessman was just a businessman. But now businesses have so-called social responsibilities, which is basically an open excuse to force the beliefs of the CEOs and the board of directors down the throats of the masses. You see, if we did this in Christianity to others, we'll be attacked and abused. You see, if a Christian started a company and forced everybody to have Bible study or something of that nature, there will be those who would not like it. But you see, perhaps we should do such things because the world keeps using their platforms that have nothing to do with belief systems or politics, and they use those platforms to push politics and belief systems down people's throats. I mean, you look at the Oscars and Grammys, they are always talking politics and insulting President Trump. When did that start? What business does movies have with politics? You see, what business does a movie award show have with politics? People come there for the movies, not for them to listen to idiotic thoughts about one's twisted political beliefs. You see, so these are great concerns. And Alfred and friends, obviously, we have several news channels of communication to you, and we would increase that and expand and spread out into a variety of different things. You can also join us, you can work with us on that, and also naturally taking down Google is something that is very important and has always been a necessity to Alfred and friends, because such tech companies, Google, Facebook, and all the rest of them, they are all tools for the devil. In other words, the money that is gotten from such companies are used to aid satanic and evil causes like the LGBT and like against positive presidents like President Trump. You see, Facebook and a lot of such companies, they give money to fund politicians like Hillary, and then they fight politicians like President Trump. And imagine them using their platform to censor President Trump. That is so evil. You see, they have done all they can to censor conservatives. You see, and this is something that has affected me personally and has affected a lot of people. Even right now, if you enter pastoralfred.com on Facebook, the link wouldn't work. It will actually point you to a page that proudly states that the views on pastoralfred.com goes against Facebook policy. Therefore, no link from Facebook can point to pastoralfred.com. You see, so that is the kind of censorship that we see. And interestingly, PastorAlfred.com is not political in any way. It may have a few political thoughts. It's actually Alfred and Friends in the news site, the news subsite, alfredandfriends.com/news, where you'll find politics and things of that nature. But PastorAlfred.com is just quotes and sermons and teachings and broadcasts. But yet, because they are completely against Satan and his kingdom and against a lot of all the modern things that Satan is doing, and Satan is aware of the impacts that PastorAlfred.com has and is capable of increasing in and what it will do. So such sites are just banned. You see, so that is just the way it is now, There's nothing seriously political on any level on PastorAlfred.com. So that is the update for today. Once again, thank you and God bless you.